A special story in tonight's Detroit 2020 report.
Food that would otherwise end up in landfills, instead going to Metro Detroit's hungry.
It's all thanks to an organization that's been doing it now for a quarter century.
We're talking about Forgotten Harvest. They received a check for up to $7,000 from the Scripps Foundation.
On behalf of the Scripps Heart Foundation and Channel 7 and WMYD, I want to thank you for the great work Forgotten Harvest is doing in this community. Thank you for all you're doing. You're making a tremendous impact.
That is our Vice President and General Manager, Mike Murray. He made the presentation to Kirk Mays at Forgotten Harvest. And tonight, our Stephen Clark shows us why the organization is so deserving.
And so many people don't realize how many kids in our community.
Your next door neighbor, people you wouldn't expect to actually need supplemental, fresh, healthy food.
Families who are hungry. We know personally they have one meal a day. And we're throwing away millions of pounds of food here in this country.
On a cold December day, Kim Elovich lines up to get her fresh produce. Fruits and vegetables Kim and her family might not otherwise be able to afford.
It's really helpful all the way around. I mean, the fresh fruit, we get the fruit, the vegetables, and I mean, it all goes.
Getting the food to people like Kim is the mission of Forgotten Harvest.
We work with farmers who have surplus products, retailers, and also food producers and manufacturers to make sure that that excess food, that surplus food, has a place to go in our local community for people who are in need.
Forgotten Harvest was created 25 years ago to fight hunger and waste.
This apple would have went to the garbage if Forgotten Harvest wasn't here.
So food like this doesn't end up in a landfill. At its warehouse in Oak Park, volunteers repack fresh, nutritious food. It's then loaded onto trucks, which roll into 800 locations in the Tri-County area. Places like the New Breed Community Center in East Point.
We have clients who are really struggling, but certainly we have those who come from very affluent communities. You know, do I pay for my pharmaceuticals or do I buy food this month?
Ludia Mars has been coming here for 3 years.
I like the vegetables, the milk, and then sometimes the goodies that we get.
She not only picks up those things for herself, but for other seniors as well.
My neighbors across the street from me, they're shut in. So what I get on Thursday, I share it with them.
Last year, Forgotten Harvest delivered more than 42 million pounds of food.
The large share of our food is actually being distributed to working families in our community. Your next door neighbor, people you wouldn't expect to actually need supplemental, fresh, healthy food.
It helps tremendously. Every couple of weeks we come and I collect, and it really does help save us.
I think it's a wonderful project, just wonderful.
You know, it is wonderful. And I mean, so many times you and I both have been in schools in the city of Detroit where some kids go to bed on a bag of chips and a pop. So Forgotten Harvest, they mean so much for feeding our hungry in our community. And you won't believe who is going to bed without food.
It's a household name.
Right.
And we throw away so much every year.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Stephen.